On the 21st of November 1974, just after 8 o'clock in the evening, 2 bombs went off in pubs in central Birmingham. One in the Mulberry Bush in the basement of the Rotunda, and the other one in the Tavern on the Town, further up on New Street. Those bombs together killed 21 people and injured over 200. It was at the time the most devastating attack in British peacetime history.
My father was drinking in the Mulberry Bush pub. He was drinking with a group of friends. I was in bed. I heard a knock on the door. My mother was still awake. There were 2 police officers. They came in, explained to my mother that my father had been killed. She just sat there swaying for the rest of the night, not coming to terms with what they told her.
Murderers came to our city and killed innocent people, whereby a whole community suffered the consequences for those who committed this heinous act. The Irish community were, in the nicest way to put it, ostracised so unnecessarily.
For Birmingham's Irish community, the terrorism led to an after effect of racialisation and targeting. People took it upon themselves to attack Irish buildings, Irish community centres, pubs, businesses, schools were sought out and targeted for people who wanted to settle scores with Irish people as if they themselves had been responsible for the bombings.
We couldn't reveal any of our Irish identity for fear of a backlash. Overnight, to be Irish in the city was to be at the lowest of the low, where accent warranted abuse, both verbal and physical. It was an awful, awful time. An acrimonious shadow had fallen over the Irish community.
Three years ago we began working with the Irish community in Birmingham and the friends and families of those who were killed on that evening to look at ways of remembering them, and we decided that we needed a new memorial in the city, and it should be the first step towards peace and reconciliation and hopefully healing the heart of the city.
Initial concept for my work was really thinking about something that was organic in a very urban landscape. My idea was to create a sort of oasis and a group of trees, really, which worked as a sort of shelter, refuge, for people to come and take shade under. The sculpture itself is designed so it's not inclusive or exclusive, really, so hopefully it will transfer the message across to a wider community and younger generations as well, who may not be aware of the past.
I see the memorial trees as a promise fulfilled, not only to the 21, but to victims of terrorism everywhere. And if it can make people that might be wanting to stray onto the dark path of terrorism just to stop and think that there is an alternative way, then I'd be very, very happy.
I think it's important to keep the victims alive in the respect that we can have a memorial. We can be proud that the city recognises the victims of that night, both who were in the pubs, outside the pubs, and the community that was victimised afterwards.
This is a long time coming. That's why this memorial is not only important to the families and the survivors, but it is of even more significance to us as families to bring together the Irish community in rebuilding and solidifying what was lost.
We hope, first of all, that it will create a proper space for the whole city to pay its respects to the victims. For everybody else, we hope it provides a place for thoughtful reflection. We hope it will send a message of peace and reconciliation, and that the inclusivity of the groups that have worked on this memorial will send another message that Birmingham is united and always will be.